So a friend from work wants me to see if I can get this mower running again. We fixed it last year. The intake manifold was broken. We replaced that. It worked, but now it's supposed to run, but when you start mowing, it bogs down and dies. To me, that sounds like a carburetor issue, possibly not getting enough fuel to run under load. So I went over to his friend's house and picked it up, put it in the back of the car. I noticed the muffler's missing. Fuel tank and carb feel loose. That's loose. I don't remember those being loose when we fixed it last year. And it's not supposed to move around like that. So you guys see what's going on. Pulled the one bolt. So it's missing a bolt in the front and side. The oil's dark and nasty. Just that over there. So already now we're missing a couple bolts. The entire exhaust. Tight. The bolt is tight, but it's not holding everything solid. It's got good compression. That gas tank is full of crud, which goes back to that carburetor issue that he mentioned. Guess I'm going to pull this off. That does not look good. This oil up here has me a bit concerned. It looks like there's oil there, possibly from the head. Well, those bolts are slightly loose, and then not torqued all the way. Top ones appear to be, but I was able to put a bit of a turn on those lower ones. That's not great. I'm going to look into the exhaust. Want to replace that muffler. Get a carb kit for this. This has compression. I can figure out the rest of this. Find 2 replacement bolts plus whatever holds the muffler in place. We have this Troy-Bilt electric start rear wheel drive 21-inch mower. It's got a 6 3/4 horse engine on it. Be pretty good for going through the tall weeds, assuming it performs like Krusty does. Crusty, for those who don't know, is a mower that was left under a pine tree for 10 years. I got it running. It still runs to this day. It's extremely rusty and has 0 safety features. Safety features were easier to remove than to replace. I think that's one of the bolts that was missing from the first mower. This mower has been sitting for a very long time. I believe indoors for a good portion of that. Scary bit about this is what hides under the air filter cover. There's no air filter. And that's pretty nasty. Guarantee that carb is going to need some work. I'm going to try rebuilding it before replacing it, but probably needs a replacement. Otherwise, I'm betting that's all this mower is going to need to get back into service. It is an electric start, so it has a battery. I'm sure that battery is stupid expensive. I'll fabricable a old UPS battery in its place. It uses a funny format for the battery. UPS battery is just going to be cheaper. Alright. Got a little bit of gas. Down his throat. All that needs is carb work then. I suppose I should check the oil. Who knows? That's a good vintage. So, carburetor work and an oil change. And the installation of an air cleaner. That should be good for use around the house. So that crud was in the gas tank. So in the carburetor itself, there should be a screen to help filter the fuel. I'm gonna bet that screen is pretty well plugged. Let's check that out. This air filter isn't looking too healthy, so I'll clean that out. It's not looking great. Alright, screws loose. So, well, that pickup screen's not horrible. Lose all the screws. I'm going to clean it anyway, so that diaphragm's not terrible. There's some crud in there. It's possible there was water in there as well. Anyhow, this tank just needs a lot of cleaning. I'll go ahead and get that done. So I've got it pretty much back together. I cleaned the sponge, that's drying, so air cleaner will go on eventually. Put some fresh fuel in, primed it, started it up. Of course it's missing the exhaust. So we got that guy. It was quite smoky and oily. Gonna wind up draining the oil, doing an oil change. Pretty sure this used to be a screw-on type muffler. It's gotten knocked off. But it runs without it. It seems to run fine. It's extremely loud, even for Briggs. I'm still gonna get the carb kit. I've got to see if I can get that off so I can put a new muffler in. Otherwise, it seems like it should run fine. I'll also check the blade, make sure it's balanced, see if it needs sharpening. Other than that, I'm pretty confident this will run fine. So, it's definitely a thread and adapter, but behind it, see the holes that should let me put a bolt on, exhaust in place. I know I have one of those. Oh, come on, you were just turning. I'm gonna fight with that for a bit. Be right back. There it is. Those holes should let me bolt on a standard muffler.